It's Monday, August 14th. It's a little less than 2 months from right now, and that is the day that Judge Eileen Cannon has set for the trial of Donald J. Trump in the case having to do with classified documents illegally and dangerously kept by him at Mar-a-Lago. Instance that there were no delay. A 2-week trial in August would mean that Trump would appear in a Republican primary debate while he is standing trial. Fast forward a little bit, the New York Attorney General's civil fraud lawsuit is set to go on trial in October. The Iowa caucuses will reportedly land somewhere in January, and that's the same month as the E. Jean Carroll civil defamation suit and the federal class action lawsuit alleging a pyramid scheme. The Stormy Daniels hush money case goes in front of a jury in March, right as the general election campaign season seems to usually hit full swing in this country. From there, every minute the classified documents trial gets delayed further, the American people inch closer to the 2024 election itself and the possibility, the potential for a second Trump term if he's the nominee. At this point, we are less certain about the actual date than we are about how Donald Trump will conduct himself if he is cross-examined. Those loud bangs you heard last night might have been his legal team slamming their heads and fists on their desks or against a wall as they listened to Trump's interview with Fox News' Bret Baier. Not only did Trump admit to things that he probably shouldn't have on television, he also seemed to thrash about, unsure of what to say and in search of acceptable answers. Watch.
But according to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a plan of attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president. The Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles. I had copies of magazines.
I know. This is specifically a quote. You're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know, this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this, on tape,
it says just the opposite.
That you can't declassify. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president.
To be clear, no one's ever gone to jail for hoarding newspaper clippings, not even that guy.
Now, let's listen to Donald Trump's first answer about possessing war plans against Iran.
Why did you have this very sensitive national security defense documents, like the war plans for a strike on Iran?
So like every other president, I take things out. And in my case, I took it out pretty much in a hurry.
I took it out in a hurry. So there you hear Donald Trump admitting that he took Iran war plans and did it in a hurry. Then Donald Trump later seemed to say that he doesn't know if he took Iran war plans.
These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things, golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things. I would say much more, not that I know of, but everything was declassified.
Now it's not that I know of. Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyers, because they are not allowed to lie to the court, have not tried to ever say in court that everything was declassified. In Donald Trump's final exchange about Iran war plans last night, he went from, as we've seen, first admitting that he took the plans when he left the White House and took them in a hurry, to then saying he didn't know if he had the plan, to then finally denying that he had such a document.
According to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a plan of attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president. The Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles. I had copies of magazines.
I know. This is specifically a quote. You're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this on tape
it says just the opposite,
that you can't declassify it. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
But that
wasn't a document, Brett. There was no document.
Neil Katyal, there was no document is where he ends up. And so what I'm wondering is, because we've discussed on this program these kinds of things when he does these interviews, he leaves them on video, that in the trial, they will be admissible. They can be brought in. So which one of those do you bring in? And what's the sequence? Do you show it the way we just showed it, where here are his three answers, or how do you introduce it?
Well, Lawrence, last night I said the breaking news was that there's a new member of the special prosecutor Jack Smith's team, an unpaid volunteer deputy special prosecutor named Donald Trump. Now, tonight, I think the breaking news is a little different. It's this other excerpt that you've shown us from the Fox News interview, the same interview, in which he's admitting taking the Iran attack plan. And then, the excerpt we saw yesterday, he pretends to have forgotten about it, which is just not credible, Lawrence. I mean, this isn't like, the menu at the White House mess or something that he took by mistake and couldn't remember whether he took it or not, or the details of it. This is, for heaven's sakes, a battle plan to go to war with Iran. It's not the kind of thing that you forget. It's certainly not the kind of thing you take out in a hurry. And Lord knows it isn't the kind of thing you mix around with your golf shirts and things like that. So I think ultimately this is all going to be introduced in his criminal prosecution. Thank you, Donald Trump, for giving the prosecution even more evidence. The indictment was already strong enough to begin with, but there is no kind of Fox News interview exception in the federal rules of evidence that prevents Trump's comments that he gave on TV from being used in court. Everything he said to Fox, everything he says in campaign events and to his social media followers can be and will be used against him.
The defense Donald Trump offered tonight, which once again may be more of a confession than a defense.
They went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
They've never done before.
Right.
But
why not just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet.
Comes one day after his last Secretary of Defense said,
"Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?"
Well, based on his actions, again, if proven true, under the indictment by the special counsel, no.
And it comes one day after Donald Trump's last Senate-confirmed Attorney General said this.
This was a case that entirely of his own making. He had no right to those documents, and he had no legal basis for keeping them. That was a clear crime if those allegations are true.
They went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
They've never done before.
Right.
But
why not just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but
I've
according
been
to
very,
the
very
indictment,
busy.
you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things. Golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things. I would say much. I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet.
Enough with the gay pride flags. How about this flag?
It's happy birthday, Grandpa. Happy. And I said, oh, great. I just got charged with, they want 400 years approximately.
The most innocent man that's ever been in the White House, Donald J. Trump. The best president we've ever had.
You could take the Dalai Lama and make him the Republican nominee that tried to destroy his life.
45/47. He's coming back. This is the longest witch hunt going on 8 years now since he came down the escalator. The guy's an American hero.
MSNBC with their low IQ audience.
I'm starting to ask the question, was this ketchup bottle woke? Is this mustard? I mean, literally.
Do you believe there's a two-tier system of justice? Do you believe this is unfair?
Obviously. I don't even know how anybody can ask that with a straight face. There's obviously a two-tier justice system.
And you have them trying to protect Joe Biden, who has, I believe, committed multiple criminal acts.
If Trump were to get reelected, should he consider a pardon for the Biden family?
Absolutely not. They're a crime family.
Joe Biden should be impeached. He should be removed from office. He should be prosecuted, and he should go to prison.
You're either an American or a Democrat these days. There's no way to be both.
So as you can see here, it's strong sentiments out here.
The media will not cover this story, even though these are the most serious allegations ever leveled against the president.
I introduce these articles of impeachment not for personal gain or even political popularity. I introduced articles of impeachment on behalf of the American people.
The conspiracy theorists are looking pretty good right about now. Remember when we were made fun of for doing our own research?
No American died or fought for the pride flag.
Food for everyone. Food for everyone.
The next Republican president is going to be under tremendous pressure to bring charges and indict Joe Biden, his family, his crackhead son, whoever.
The Dodgers have decided to declare war on Christianity. Forget the Dodgers.
This is a communist country. We've been taken over. It's not the America that we all thought that we had. We're not a free country anymore.
There's a lot.
Love your hat.
Thank you. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius. Putin declares a big portion of Ukraine. Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful. So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. That's the strongest peace force. We could use that on our southern border. And you know what the response was from Biden? There was no response. They didn't have one for that. No, it's very sad. Very sad.
We came, we saw, he died. We came.